Bro, was I top 3 at any time? Maybe top 5, top 6, top 7. I wanted to prove to myself that if I put my mind to this thing, I can actually do it. Architects had no money and they were going to be broke. I don't want to do this. Divorce yourself from shame. Okay? Is that British accent trying to come out? I'm a Nigerian girl. Oh. Nǹkan tọ́mọdé ò lè rí ní ìjókòó. Àgbà máa rí. No, 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 no. That's rubbish. This is how I'm going to continue my life. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, I'm giving you a round of applause. Grab a seat, come to the front, and welcome to the best side of the internet. If you're an OG subscriber, good to see you again. Thank you for sticking around and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about how I went from being a university dropout to working in a Fortune 500 company. A lot of you know me as the girl that went to Norway to study and was sharing all those opportunities with you, but a lot has changed and a lot had happened before you saw that girl that went to Norway. So today I'm going to be bringing you on that journey, giving you the tea, telling you the steps that I took to be able to change and transform my life so that you can also take the same steps if you currently find yourself in a rut. Okay, let's get into it. First things first, why did I drop out of uni? That is a long story for another day and another video, okay? But I'm going to tell you the important stuff. I was in the University of Ife, Ocean State. When I got right out of secondary school, I went to Ife. First, I had my pedigree year. I did a year of pedigree program, and then I got in to study building technology. Now, I was grossly misinformed, okay? Because I really loved architecture and I really loved design, and I'd spoken to somebody that just discouraged me and told me that architects had no money and they were going to be broke. Because he had studied architecture in school and he was an adult, currently broke. It seemed like such a small thing at the time because I was a child. I mean, well, not really child, but I was pretty young and very impressionable. So two things to take out of this, which I didn't even plan to say. One is when you're talking to young people, you need to be very mindful of the things that you're telling them. Some things that are like advice can just come off as, you know, they take those things and they run with it. They are very impressionable. So when you're talking to younger people, try to give them like full context, you know, say this is your situation, but let them know the nuances of such situations. Again, I'm not blaming this person for my choices, okay? Just saying that, you know, when you're talking to young people, be more aware that they are very impressionable, yeah? Number two, I was grossly misinformed, okay? So even if this person told me one thing, I should have gone on to do my own research to make findings to know that, okay, this decision I'm about to make, is it consistent with what is actually going on in the market? And is it consistent with what I actually want for my life? And what steps am I going to take based on this conversation that I've had? But anyway, back to the gist. I was in Ile-Ife doing my pedigree year, and you know, the way it is, you select the things that you want to do in school. And then based on your cutoff score at the end of the pedigree year, they fix you into the course of the program that you want. And so I was like, okay, since I'm not going to get to do architecture anymore, I'm just going to pick something that is close to architecture. And then I saw building technology, and then I just selected it. Oh boy. Boy, I had no idea what I was getting in for. And the funny thing is, the cutoff score that I had would have qualified me for like civil engineering or any other course that may have been slightly easier to bear than building technology. But anyway, building technology was not the worst. If you study building technology, sir, you know, shout out to you. But it was just a far cry, maybe arguably far cry from architecture, right? It was a jumble of many things. So I got into school and I just hated the stuff, right? I couldn't cope. And when I was in secondary school, I was a bright student, you know. I was a bright star. I had a future. I was doing well in school, but I got to uni and suddenly I just couldn't cope. It was also in an environment that was not very enabling. I love Ife. Shout out to Ife, you know. Even though I didn't graduate from there, it's still my alma mater. Really love the place, but academically, I think that there is room for improvement, right? Some of our classes were packed. And we used to have some back-to-back lectures, you know, so there were some lectures that we had with engineering students. And then there was one particular lecture that we used to have in ODLT. I don't remember if anybody that knows if, no, it's not, is it ODLT? That place under amphitheater, those two halls, right? And me coming from building tech will be coming from EDM, the faculty. And then there was this lecture that we used to have with engineering students, and engineering students had no class before this lecture. While we from EDM, we had a class before that lecture. So by the time we get to class, coming, most times you bike from there or you'll be running on foot. Either way, either one that works for you. From EDM to ODLT, by the time we get there, engineering students are filled everywhere. The class couldn't take everybody. So we have students sitting on the floor, trying to hustle for where to sit, trying to hear the lecturer. Maybe the public address system isn't working properly. You're sitting at the back, you cannot hear anything. I'm just like, this is not for me. I did try. No, I didn't really try. Okay, maybe I tried a little bit. I don't know, but I was just frustrated, and I was just like, is this how I'm going to continue my life, right? And then also that now led me to not attending some classes, and I just generally didn't even like the courses. And I'm just like, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I wanted to do. I also now realized that in building technology is a course that people don't usually pick, because at the time when I was in school, they had only had 2 first-class students from that course. And if you know how long Ife has been a university for, that's a very long time. So just show you that they are pretty strict. People don't really graduate with like good grades from there. And I was just like, I use my hand to choose to choose this difficult situation. So it was a very frustrating time. There's a lot more that I can say, but this is just like, overhead summary of the entire situation. The classes that I really liked, I would go. And they were just very few. The ones that I was having just problem getting into, and we had to do mathematics. Obviously maths is no big deal in maths, but then we were also doing further maths type thing. We had a vector course. I was just like, oh. But anyways, needless to say that I failed woefully, and I spent 4 years in Obafemi Awolowo University, but I was still in my second year. Well, not necessarily because of the failures, but also because of the strikes and everything. I'd done the pedigree as well. I mean, I also considered like seeing it through till the end, but the way the courses were set up, most of the semesters were full. If you have a carryover, you carry it over to the next year, you have to actually have space in the next year to do your carryover. But the building tech course at the time, I don't know if things have changed now, was set up in a way that you don't really have spaces. All your semesters are full with maybe only 1 unit or 2 unit spaces left. And most of the units were like 5, 4, 3 at the least. I had like 2 or 3 5 units, 4 unit courses per semester. It was hectic, I'm telling you. And so if you have a carryover, you know that you already have an extra year, because there is no space in your next year to put this course into. At the time I was, thinking about this and, trying to make a decision, I already knew that I was going to have an extra year with the courses that I already carried over. And I'm just like, with these strikes and everything that is going on, is this how I'm going to continue my life? That was why I dropped out. I had some conversations with, mentors and people that I look up to, and I was advised that, okay, you see, this way that you're going, it's not really the best for you. It's better for you to, maybe drop out of this thing, find something that you love and try to do it, right? Now, bear in mind that I've already spent 4 years in uni. I was probably like 20 years old at this time. And, I'm like, am I going to start my life over? So that's why I'm making this video. If you find yourself in a situation that is just so difficult, if you find that, it seems like you have wasted your time, or you have made wrong decisions, or you've just found yourself somehow where it feels like you're in a rut and you don't know how to move forward and the future seems very bleak, I'm here to tell you that there is a way out and there is hope for your future, okay? I want to share with you 5 practical steps that I took that helped me to navigate this situation. I've gone from being a dropout to currently now working in a Fortune 500 company. Let's get into it. So the first step is to be honest with yourself, right? You need to be honest with yourself. When I was in this situation, I hid this situation a lot from my family. I was always giving excuses when it was time to show my results. I was always trying to find a way out. I didn't want to face my situation head on. I didn't want to come to terms with the situation that I was in. But you don't have to do that. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be able to sit down and say that this situation no longer serves me. This situation is not headed in the way that I want it to go. And you need to acknowledge it. Self-awareness is very important for you to even start this process. Let me give you an example. If you set out on a journey, let's say you're in Nigeria and you set out, you want to go to Kaduna, Nigeria, which is on the northern side of the country. And somehow you find that your vehicle, after hours of driving, is headed towards Lagos. which is in the southwest side of the country. You're not going to say, okay, because I've been on this journey for 4 hours, it doesn't matter, I don't care, I cannot go back. It seems like I've wasted 4 hours of my life out there. I'll now have to reroute and head to Kaduna. You have to reroute and head to Kaduna because your original point of where you wanted to go was Kaduna. It was not Lagos. You have no business in Lagos. So no matter how far you have gone on a journey, once you realize that I've made a mistake here, I'm on the wrong route, I'm headed in the wrong direction, you have to turn back. And this journey and this experience is what makes me always say that sometimes the only way forward is backward. You want to go forward, but you need to go backward because currently you are headed in the wrong direction. So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to sit down, have a clear-cut view of your life and be able to say, this is not serving me. I shouldn't be here. Number 2, you have to be willing to start over. See, it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your circumstance. This is your life. And you need to be able to say, it's okay for me to start over. It's not another person's life. Nobody is going to live this life for you. I told you guys earlier in the video, when I was leaving Ile-Ife, I was at like 20 years old, okay? I had to go back to take JAMB again. JAMB. And if you're in Nigeria, you know how difficult this can be. I've left secondary school like 4 or 5 years prior. It was a very difficult decision. It was a very tough time. When I tell you tough time, I lost a lot of weight. I was looking like a shadow of myself, but I knew that it was something that I needed to do. You need to be willing to start over. Divorce yourself from shame, okay? I'm too old. Divorce yourself from shame. Everybody be looking at me somehow. Divorce. Remove yourself. Like, remove shame from your mind. Remove shame. You cannot be ashamed of something that is going to make your life better. Bishop Oyedepo will say, you cannot be shameful of what is gainful. Divorce yourself from shame. I remember when I was making this decision, so I went to Covenant University to start over. And that year, when I was supposed to resume, I remember I was resuming like August, September. And around June, July, they were doing convocation for the current graduating set. So I went to Covenant University for the graduation. And I remember very clearly, there were people that were graduating from my SS3 set, my class, my classmates. First class on computer science, second class on business administration, this and that. And I was there about to come to their school to start my degree from scratch as a year 1 student. I could have allowed shame to overshadow my mind, to cloud my judgment. But you need to divorce yourself from shame, all right? And you need to be willing to start over. You need to be willing to say, this is what I need to do, and I will not feel shameful about it. Number 3, come up with a plan, okay? Once you realize that, okay, this is no more serving me, I'm not going to be ashamed, I'm willing to start from the beginning, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to achieve with my life? What is my end goal here? Or what are my interests? If you're in this particular situation that I was in, for instance, what are my interests? What do I desire? At that point, you know, I had said I wanted to do architecture. But at this point, I didn't even want architecture. And also, I was so scared. Oh my God. I was so scared from failing particular subjects from when I was in school, like the ones that had to do with mathematics, calculation. Even if previously I was good at these things, but I'd now become so, like, I'd become almost insecure when it came to these particular topics and subject. This might not be the right term to use, but I was definitely feeling like I was not good enough and I was not up to it, right? And so I didn't even want to do the architecture or anything that had to do with calculation or anything. I just wanted to just go to school and just try to get a degree. But before then, I'd considered not going at all, right? I'd considered, because I really do love fashion design, I'd considered going to study fashion design instead. But, you know, after speaking to mentors, I decided, okay, I can always pursue the fashion design on the side. Let me go get a degree instead, right? And so I made a plan. I knew that, okay, if I'm going to get a degree, what do I need to do? Do I want to go to another public school? Am I able to go to a private school based on my circumstance? Can I transfer? Can I do this? Can I do that? So make a plan based on the reflections that you have made. Okay, these are the steps that I made before that brought me to a bad point. I don't want to make these steps again. This is my new plan for my future. This is my new plan for my life. And break the plans into small steps to make it easier for you to achieve. Don't just have this grandiose plan. Okay, I'm dropping out, but I want to go and become a billionaire. Bring it home, okay? Little steps. For me, it was, I've dropped out of school. I think I can go back and re-enroll and do this thing again. Number 4, put in your best. Put in your best. Put in your best. You have already been in a rut before. You've already failed previously, either by reason that were due to your own inconsistencies, laziness, like a lackadaisical attitude, or maybe just situations beyond your control. But now you're giving yourself a new beginning, right? You've given yourself another chance at this. You need to put in your best. I remember when I went back to school, I'm like, it's all or nothing. I'm going in with all of my strength, all of my emotion, all of my mental capabilities, everything that I have, I'm bringing into this game. And you know that I mentioned that I was already scarred from doing anything that has to do with calculation, even if I was good at it when I was in secondary school. At uni level, after my experience there and the failures, I just said, I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to do something that is more suited to what I'm able to focus on at the moment and what I'm able to do, because I want to do well at this. And that's another thing that I want to mention. It's not really like a major point, but you can put it under the planning. Is when you're planning, plan to do something that is actually within your strengths, within your area of strength. That is so important. Play to the areas of your strength. I feel like I need to make this a point. Play to the areas of your strength, which is what I did when I went back to school. I'm like, okay, I might have been strong in this area, but I've had some traumatic experiences. I'm going to pick another area where I think I can do well. And that's what I did. And I gave it my all. I poured everything that I had, because also there was a point where I also needed to prove to myself that I was not a failure. It wasn't even because of anybody. It was just an internal thing, because so long in my life, academically, I was always okay. Not even okay. I was sound. I was good. So when I got to uni and then I was just failing, it affected how I saw myself. It was like an identity issue for me at this point. So I wanted to really prove to myself that I could succeed. I wanted to prove to myself that if I put my mind to this thing, I can actually do it. And I did try. I almost got straight A's, okay, because I graduated with a 4.9. Come on, give me a round of applause. Yeah. There were many things that played a part here. First, it was a much more enabling environment. Secondly, I picked something different, and this time I really wanted to play to my current strength, the strengths that I had at that time. And thirdly, I gave it my best and I gave it my all. My first semester, I remember, I had only one B and I cried. You would think that maybe I had an F. I'm like, for where I'm coming from, people in my life had to give me perspective that, girl, you're coming from the trenches, okay? This is really good. I had straight A's apart from one course that I had a B. But my second semester, I had straight A's. My third semester, I had straight A's. And I just kept going like that. But yes, put in your best. You can do it. Number 5, get good mentors. Get good mentors. Get good mentors. Okay, I mentioned this in passing, in the previous steps that I said. You will have heard me say, I spoke to some of my mentors. I spoke to people. I had good mentors, because when I was in the rut, when I was failing, when I was feeling overwhelmed, then I was feeling like I can't do this anymore, I didn't even have the strength or the mental fortitude to even make a decision to change the course of what I was doing. It didn't even, I was so weak mentally. I was so weak I was so tired of the whole situation that I wasn't even thinking of a way forward for myself until I now began to have conversations and I began to see what was possible. I tried to actually change my course in Ife. I didn't plan to leave at the beginning, but it was so difficult to leave that department. I don't know why. If somebody wants to change department, let them change the department. Oh my God. But I think they also knew that the department was a bit tough and people used to want to run away once they start. And they didn't want to have an empty department, I guess. But anyway, that aside, I don't know why they made those choices. But I wasn't able to. It was just a very long thing for me to change. I guess I might have been able to eventually after maybe 2 years, but that was just too long for me, as I already felt I'd already wasted 4 years of my life. But anyway, that aside, I had a good support system and good mentors who were able to say, okay, I think you should do this. You're able to do this. We will support you. Don't worry. It's okay. That is so important. It's also something you need to put in consideration when you're making your plan. Are you going to get support from your family? Do you need support from your family? There are some things that you can do in terms of changing your life that is everything falls on you and you don't need to really think about input from other people. But if it's going to be something that requires input from other people, it also needs to come into play when you're making your plan. Am I going to be able to get this support? How will I get this support? That kind of thing. So you need good mentors. That is so important. I wanted to quote a Yoruba proverb. Nǹkan tọ́mọdé ò lè rí ní ìjókòó, àgbà máa rí. No. That's rubbish. A child cannot see, even standing on a tree. An adult will see sitting down, which just speaks to, experience and wisdom that sometimes comes with age, and people that are older and have done life before you or ahead of you, they're able to give you perspective. I know I said I was going to give you 5 steps. I have some bonus tips for you. Bonus step number one, you have to trust the process. See, guys, you need to trust the process and you need to stick to your plan. I remember when I went back to Covenant to resume to Covenant University, I was like, God. I remember my first day. They put me in a room with 2 other people. They were fresh off secondary school, and the kind of conversations that they were having were so different from the things that were in my mind and things that were in my brain. And I was like, heavens, I've already crossed 20. And I'm here with these like 16, 15-year olds just having child talk, and just talking about, oh, when they were prefects in school, when I'm like, I've, I've come further than this. It was internally difficult and quite frankly very frustrating for me. But I had to stick with the plan. I had to trust the process. It seemed very slow, it seemed very grueling, it seemed very difficult at the time, but I knew that I had to see it through and also just trust the process, that okay, this was the right decision to make. I need to see this thing through. I need to trust that this is going to turn out, to be great and to be good for me, or to be a better decision for me. And second bonus tip, you have to trust in the Lord. Okay? You have to trust in the Lord your God. If you're in a rut and you find yourself trying to come out of it, don't do these things with your own wisdom. Don't do it with your own understanding. Before you make any decision, before you take any step, pray about it. Ask God what He thinks. Let Him advise you. Scripture says that to trust in the Lord and lean not on your own understanding. You might have great ideas for yourself, but also it's good to take these ideas to God and say, God, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I want to do. What do you think? And I know I also spoke about mentors and, having people that can advise you and show you the way to go. When they advise you, take it to God, right? Yes, scripture also supports having mentors, because scripture says, seat of counselors, there is safety. Just let the Spirit of God lead you in decision making, so that you're not wasting your time over what might not work in the future or what might not be best for you. All right, I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know if you have any additional questions. Let me know if you want any follow-up videos to this particular video, and just let me know what is on your heart and on your mind. Okay, I did start this channel because I wanted to help people when I was in Norway, and I felt like sharing this story would be a good help, and just to give people perspective that no matter what you have gone through in your life, you can bring yourself out of it. You can try, you can change the course of your life. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, a lot has happened after that. I went on to finish my degree with a very good grade of 4.9 out of 5. I worked, I went on to do my master's, I got an international job. A lot has happened in that journey just because I took that decision. I strongly believe and I know that if I had not made the choices that I made at this point, where I changed my environment, where I tried to put in my best to do better, where I just trying to change the course of my life, I will not have landed where I am today. That choice that I made that seemed like, okay, I've wasted 4 years of my life, and I'm coming right now to start and waste 4 years of my life again. When my mates are graduating, I'm coming to resume. It just seemed like a lot at that time. I was feeling depressed, I was losing weight and everything. But looking at it, in retrospect, that was the best decision I could have made. And even though at that time, temporarily, it seemed like my mates and my colleagues had, left me and I was behind in life, now it doesn't seem that way. And if I don't come out to tell you this story, you would not know that I had a time where I had to drop out and all my peers were ahead of me, because somehow God has helped me to bridge that gap, and I'm able to not look like I'm behind in life, because I'm actually not. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh my God. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and share with your friends if you think it would inspire or help anyone. Don't forget to share. Let me know what kind of content you would like to see more on this channel. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye. Is that a Gen Z bye? What is this? What is this? Bye. 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 Okay. Whatever. Bye.